Yesterday I worked on the bug a little, but I didn't film anything. Put the steering stabilizer on, and I put the new plate in the shifter. The old one is over here somewheres. Right here it is. And this here is the part that's worn. It's actually worn right here on the bottom. This bolts in the floor just like this. This is the front of the car, and this keeps it from going into reverse. There's a little round hub that rides on this, supposed to be right in the center of this. And actually it's worn here on top. So when you push down on the gear shift, the hub would come down underneath and allow the shifter to go into reverse, just like it's supposed to. But when it was up in normal, instead of riding along this piece here, it actually sometimes would ride up and over the top. So it would get all jammed up and everything, and so I had bought one of these. I wasn't sure if this was what the problem was, but I had bought one with my stuff, and now the gear shift works good. I mean, that's used to be you'd push it over here and it would go past and in here into the reverse area, which that's reverse, and then this is first and second, and of course third and fourth is over here. Let me get the camera over here. This is third and fourth, but you'd go to put it into low and it would go just a little bit past where it would want to go into reverse and get all jammed up. So now it's positive. When you push it over here, that's low. You don't have to worry about it going into reverse. And actually, when I took it on the test drive, I went from first into reverse because it just went right in. Because that's second, and you'll see that reverse is there. I mean, it's very close to second. That's second, and that's reverse. So without that hub there to keep that out of that section, it's very easy to go right into reverse. Now I don't have to worry about that because it won't go over there unless you push it down. So that's great. That's a wonderful fix. I drove it last night just up the street and it was great. So we're going to, I believe, start working on the breather kit. I've never put one of these in before. What did I do with my box of parts? Here it is. Let's see. We're going to work on this, and I'm going to see about putting these engine seals in also, but I'm not sure if I can do that. Like I said earlier in the previous video, I don't know if I can do that with the engine in there, but we're going to try. At least I'd like to get the big one in, the one that goes around the front of the engine, well, the rear of the engine. I get that confused, but the seal that goes along here I would like to replace if I can, but we got to pull the valve covers off to do the breather kit. And so I'm going to pull the rear tires, put up on jack stands, pull the rear tires, pull the valve covers off, because two of these fittings go in the valve covers, I believe. And while I've got them apart, I'm going to adjust the valves. It's just a tiny bit warm because I backed it up here, but by the time I get it apart, it'll be cooled off, because you have to set them when it's cold. So I'm going to get started. So I'll catch back with you guys in a few minutes. Well, I just wanted to show you guys this. It's really clean inside here. I would definitely guess that this has probably been rebuilt. I mean, there's no sludge at all. It's just clean oil in there. I did put an old sock under there to soak up any drips so it wouldn't get all over the heat exchanger. This cylinder here is top dead center, and there's a little slop in those, and there's supposed to be a little slop. There's supposed to be 4 thousandths. So if we take the 004 feeler gauge, this is going to be difficult. You put it in here, there's still quite a bit of slop. So I knew that they were kind of loud, this one especially. This one here's got probably 15, 18 thousandths in it. You can hear that one tapping. So that one's got pressure on it. So I'll get these set on this side and get the valve cover cleaned up. I do have new gaskets. Somebody's glued the gasket in here, which I'm going to do also, so that it doesn't move. But they didn't really wait for it to set up, and it actually slid in a little bit around here and a little bit right in here. So it wasn't leaking, but I want to get that cleaned up and let that set up good, so that that doesn't move. And we got to clean up a little bit around here, but it's not too bad. That's actually just some silicone or something on there. That comes right off. There's a little bit of gasket up in here. So we'll get that all cleaned up and get the fitting put in here. I'm probably going to go up through, I'm not sure where I'm going to go up through with my hose. Somewheres. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I might curve it around and go up through in here because the fitting is straight. I'll just put it in the back side of the valve cover, make sure I got clearance and stuff, and then just bore a hole through the body up there and put a grommet in there. I don't have any grommets, but I got some rubber material or something I'll put around there, and we'll be good to go. Alrighty, we got the driver's side all valves all adjusted and the fitting put in the valve cover, and new gaskets cemented on, only under the cover. That way if you got to take it off to adjust them, it'll stick with the cover and not stick to the engine too bad. And probably going to work on the heater cables, not now, but because I got the wheels off and everything, they're right here, so it'll be real easy to work on them. Probably do that tomorrow. But I've had a thought. I got the breather box here with the cover, and this is not sealed, so that the pressure doesn't have to be restricted and go into the carburetor. And I was thinking that I would mount it up in here, which is a great idea. It would look nice and everything, and easy to route the hoses and everything, but I'd have to drill 2 holes through the tin to get to the valve covers. And I had another thought. That's crankcase pressure. I thought originally that the box was sealed and you ran a line to the air cleaner here, and I was going to mount it here, but with it being vented, the fan draws air in right here, and it draws it through the whole engine compartment and down through the ducts and blows it out the bottom. If you're venting crankcase pressure in here, it's all fine and well to blow it through the engine and out the bottom. However, these 2 tubes here are where your heater air comes from the same fan. It blows it out those tubes down through the heat exchangers and into the car. If it's going to draw crankcase vent through the fan, blow it in the car, that's probably a bad idea. So now I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to mount it. Probably inside one of the wheel wells. That way, you know, if you mount it up in here, it'll be out of the way of the wheels. It just depends on how I can route the hoses. I can bring the one from the other valve cover across the back of the engine and out through this hole, which I'm assuming there should be a cover on, because there's a couple bolts here, but oh well, it's missing. So I can run the hose out and into the box here. The one from this valve cover can snake its way in, and then I'll only have to drill 1 hole through the body inside the engine compartment to catch this line here off from the oil filler, and then this will just be not used anymore. So I'll probably put a cap or plug that or something. But anyway, you wouldn't really have to, because it'll draw the air it draws the air through here under normal circumstances and into the filter. So if it drew a little air through there, it wouldn't really matter. And of course this is the preheated air, but that doesn't work because there's a cable that's supposed to be connected up to the thermostat that makes that move. So this is plugged off all the time. So Anyway, so I haven't decided yet exactly where I'm going to mount that, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to try to get this other valve cover done before it gets dark out. The sun is setting. It's about 5:30 on Thursday, so we will continue moving on. Alrighty, got the box mounted up in here in the passenger side rear wheel well, and the hoses actually dress pretty good. You got this one here looping up into the back hole, the back fitting, and this one runs across and across the other side, and they cleared the wheels pretty good. There's a couple inches between the inside of the wheel and here, so that should be fine. And then this one loops up and around and goes through the metal, and I got a piece of rubber. You can't really see, it's getting kind of dark out. Got a piece of rubber wrapped around it with a wire tie to hold it. And you can't really see it in here because of this piece of cardboard, but it comes through and connects to there. So we should be set as far as the crankcase venting. And this works good, but the seal is really good on it since I put the new seal on, so I have to adjust that latch a little bit. But yeah, so it's coming along. It's getting kind of late and cold. I'm gonna button it up for the night and pick it up tomorrow.